So it is jelly day. We have got our 4 cups of liquid and our pack of liquid Sure Gel. And our instructions say
4 cups of juice,
4
7
cups of
cups
juice.
of sugar, and 1 pouch of pectin.
And you get your 4 cups of juice. And sometimes it'll call for lemon juice, but we don't need it today, right?
No, not for this one.
So, you get your juice, and then you get how much sugar?
7 cups of sugar. Wait a minute. Is that the order you put it in there?
Yeah, this doesn't go in until rolling boil. The instructions for that are up here.
Alright, go ahead.
So, you measure out your 7. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I know why I like this so much as a kid now. 6, and one more is 7. So then you will take this and you will get your stirrer, and you will get this to a rolling boil on the stove, which heat is where my husband comes in, because I'm not very safe whenever it comes to the burners on the stove. But he's going to stir that up and kind of incorporate the juice and the sugar together. And we've already got the lids heating, and our jars are right here. I'm pretty sure y'all can see them. I think I made sure. But he's going to put that on the burner, and we're going to heat that up. And I'm going to move some of this a little bit out of the way, because I need to get a towel down and get our jars set up. Our jars are supposed to be warming.
I don't have to be warm. They're supposed to be warm.
We don't warm our jars, apparently, in this house. And I am out of big towels in here, so I'll need to get one of those while he's stirring. Our handy dandy flour sack towels to the rescue. I only do this because you usually drip jolly between your jars when you're switching them over, which makes a mess on your bar. So I don't like that, and it keeps your jar from being super hot right onto your bar. So move that back over there. Like I said, we will only need 1 pack of the liquid pectin, and that doesn't go in until you're at a constant boil, and then it's only for 1 minute. And we're learning all that from our handy dandy box of Sure Gel. It comes with instructions, and since this is muscadines and they're a lot like a grape, I'm going off the grape recipe. That may be wrong, I don't really know. That's just how I do it. So,
Whoa.
apparently Stony is making a big mess. I don't know. I can't see, so.
Are you done?
I was reading that package, Mr. Peeler. So we have everything we need added until it gets to a boil. And while you're getting all that incorporated, you get your hot bath going, which we hot bath. I don't really know if you have to hot bath. This just says if needed, you can hot bath. We like to hot bath just to be on the safe side. So you get your water boiling, and then you will put all your jars in there once they're full of jelly, and you'll drop it down in the water for 10 minutes.
Honestly, the only reason we're doing this by this recipe is because we don't have powder pectin, so we're following the liquid pectin recipe.
Yeah, we usually use our handy dandy ball book, but I didn't realize that we were out of powdered pectin because I threw it away because it was out of date. And over here in your wonderful little tips and tricks for jellies, it says do not use expired pectin. So I went ahead and we had Citro on hand, or Sardo, however you say it, because a lot of recipes we actually do call for using the liquid gel. Our honeysuckle recipe calls for it, which is why we have it on hand right now, because we make honeysuckle jelly every spring. So we need to buy some more powder, which we have more muscadines to break down that are in the freezer right now. So by the time I get ready to break them down, I am going to buy the liquid. But liquid
Powder.
and, yeah, powder, sorry. Liquid and powder do the same thing. It's just pectin. It's just a different version of it. So and he's got our lids over there heating up. Okay, this is what you call a rolling boil. And this is why I don't do it, because if you don't stir it fast enough, it bubbles right over the edge. But as we are doing that, I'm going to take our package of Sarah Sure-Dill and I'm going to go cut it open for him. Because at 1 minute in, he has to open this and be able to put it in there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it open and come back over there to be the camera lady so I can pan that over in just a second. Because it's very important, yes, to be ready whenever time comes. So.
You can cut it open.
Yeah. Okay, so the husband now officially has the Sure-Dill. He's pouring it in. And we're going to do it for another full minute. And once you pour that in, it usually slows down for a second because you're introducing something cold to something hot. And then once it starts rolling boil again, you will start it for 1 more minute, which that was my husband's stone. We set a timer because sometimes if we don't do this precise, the jelly doesn't turn out right, or it turns into concrete. Because jelly is finicky stuff. And it has to be perfect or it's not going to work. So,
Did you tell them what a rolling boil was?
a rolling boil is a boil that you cannot stir down. So you're stirring and it's still bubbling, which is what is happening right now. So he just set the minute timer. And when that timer starts going off, we will pop our pot right here, which you can't see. When I pan it over, you will be able to. And we've got our jars set up and we've got our pour in there, which you have to wait just a second, and my husband will have to get him a spoon because you have to scrape the foam off the top because we don't put butter in ours, which it says you can put butter in it and that will keep it from foaming up. So if that's an option you'd be interested in, you can totally do that. But we use one of our little Rubbermaid tubs or bowls, I guess it's a bowl, and we scoop the foam off the top and put it in the bowl before we start ladling. Which you will want your handy dandy scooper. My husband bought me this for Christmas because he loves me so much, because he knew that we would start canning. And you want your funnel for your filler, and you have, our timer's up, so that means that we are good to take it off the stove and put it onto the hot plate, which if you don't move it fast, it will start trying to boil over on you. Okay, and we're going to turn that burner off now, right, husband?
Got to.
Okay, so now you can kind of see what's going on. So your jelly will immediately start to jellify if you did it right and it works. So sometimes you have to wait a couple seconds for it to start setting up. And sometimes we just go back and boil it some more. We never really know what might happen. Because usually as it starts cooling down, that's when it starts jellying. Because see, now that it's starting to get cool, he's able to pull the
Pull all the foam off the top of it.
Yeah, you have to pull your foam first. But your foam takes a minute to start getting more solid. So you just work with it until it starts working.
Can they see this?
Yes, they can see that. And these muscadines all actually came from the bush in our front yard and the bushes in our field. So they're all homegrown. How cool is that? And my husband actually works with somebody who grows them. And if this jelly turns out good, which we've liked muscadine jelly my whole life, and he's liked it since I've started making it, or my dad makes it and we get it. So I bet we will buy some muscadines from him if he has any making this year. Which, if you have to buy them, they're actually quite pricey. What does he charge? $15 a gallon?
I believe so, yes.
And we got to grow them
$12 or
home.
$15 a gallon.
So, and it uses a poop ton of sugar, as you saw. So, basically, you're going to have your sugar, your jars, and your fruit that you're going to have to buy. Or you can find in the woods. A lot of people just drive around on the dirt roads in the fall and pick them, which is what we did when I was growing up as a kid. We didn't have any in our yard. But when we moved here, we planted 2, and we plan to get some more in our row. But as you can see, he is getting all that foam off the top. And then you will use your wonderful scooper after you get all your foam off. And you will start filling those jars. But you can see it's already starting to set up a little bit, which is a great sign. Sometimes jelly does not set up and you have to like rebatch it, which we've never tried rebatching it. We just eat runny jelly.
Sometimes this is tricky to get all of it out of here. So I normally just say that's enough.
And then one jar ends up with a little bit of stuff on top.
Then when you hot batch it in a minute, if there's any of this in there, it'll push it to the top of the jar. I think that's good.
Like you said though, it's a battle trying to get those last couple things of whiteness. So you just scoop away from it. But as you can see now, you ladle, and usually it takes about 2, well, maybe just 1 ladle today. Hoping we have enough jars. I only prepared 6, and the recipe did not tell me like it normally does. And you are supposed to fill it up all the way to the top.
I'll go back and top them off in
Yeah,
just a second.
we go back and top off once we fill almost all the jars, because topping off is kind of tedious. So, but it's already starting to be clumpy and jelly-y. But the recipe will actually tell you how much headspace you leave, and you can use a headspace marker. We just wing it. We're not in any fair competitions, so we just make do with what we've got. But it's actually some good looking stuff, and it is jellying because where it's falling onto my lovely towel it's turning into jelly. And it's got some good color to it. And it was smelling delicious earlier when we were batching it up. But after this step, you will get your little pan off the stove that has your lids. And I think we have our magnet over there. This is a headspace gauger, and it is how you would check your depth if you were going to follow the rules. You just sit it in there, and then whenever it, so right there, I think actually he poured that one good because it's a 1/2 inch space. But as you can see, that tells you kind of how deep, because like I said, they all call for different depths. Hang on just 1 second, I gotta go get us one more jar, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Set it right there.
And though a lot of people don't know, those little short fat jars are actually the same exact jelly quantity as these big tall ones. Are you gonna need 2 jars?
Maybe a little tiny baby jar.
Yeah, let me go see if I can find a little fruit one. Well, we are all out of little tiny baby ones, so he's going to get another big 8-ounce jar. Well, that's good to know. Next time we'll know we need 8-ounce jars to do our jellying. Which in that last little bit of jelly is really, really hard to get out if you're trying to ladle it. So it's a lot easier to just pour it like he's doing. So, I need to get 2 more lids and rings for big jars.
I put a little much in this one.
Yeah, he's going to scoop some out of that one because it's kind of at an angle and it overfilled a little bit. Here's your other 2 lids, babe. Then you will start putting your lids on, and you have to wipe all your rims and make sure they're clean, or you won't get a good seal on your jar lid, which is going to make it leak inside of your canner, which I've never personally had any leak or blow up, but I'm pretty sure my husband has actually had some.
I've had, and while they're in the hot bath, I've had jars of stuff blow up in there.
Yeah, because if you don't have a good seal when you pop that lid on from having a clean jar, then you're going to have an accident at some point.
But then that's also the risk when you're not preheating your jars too, when they get too hot too fast like that.
Well, you learn something new.
It's very rare to happen, so I don't mess with it.
With littles, you try to do everything in a timely way because you don't have very much time. Today we're doing this on nap time.
Most of the time, like when you add your jelly or your whatever you're making, that'll heat your jar up. That'll heat your jar up enough where it won't get too hot too fast when you put it in the hot bath.
What's that handy tool you have there, husband?
This is a magnet.
And it is also from Ball. It is for canning. It is to pick up your hot lids and rings out of your water so that you don't burn yourself.
When you put these rings on, just put them on snug. You ain't got to get them super tight. You really don't want them too tight.
Because that's how your air escapes.
The point of the hot bath is to push any air out of your can.
And he is putting his last lid on, and then I will pano us over here. And you have a basket that's inside of that bath, and it will hang suspended above the water while you set your jars in. And Ball makes a handy dandy ball dropper also, which we use this to get them out. A lot of times,
have that to put it in.
yeah, a lot of times you don't have to have it to put it in, unless you're a wimp or you don't want your hand hot. And you want to evenly distribute your jars, because if not, they will fall over.
And you gotta evenly put them on your basket, or your basket will tip over in there.
Yes. And if your basket tips over, then all your jars get all wonky jawed. But once you drop them down in that water, and the water has to be above the head of the jar, get the air out. So,
And make sure that water's already next to boiling when you put your jars in there.
yeah, because they're going to drop your temps of your water because you're putting something a different temperature in there. So we will hot bath them, and then I will show you us taking them out. And hot bathing takes how long?
About 10 minutes.
Okay, so we'll see you in 10 minutes. Okay, so we have boiled for 10 minutes. We have hot bath. He's going to use our tongs now. Pull them out and set them over here on the towel. Which, we put a towel down on our bar to catch the heat.
Here's high.
Those are very hot, baby girl.
Very, very hot.
No, do not touch them. And our little girl actually woke up when we put these on the hot bath. So, in just a second, you can see her too. Or you can at least hear her. But we will sit them all out on a towel. Hang on.
That's a big one.
That is a little bitty one. And then, once we set them all out, we will put the towel over top of them to help them cool down at like a slower rate. And my other little one's grumpy too. So that is all of them, correct?
Yep.
Okay. As you can see, we set them on a towel. And then he's going to dab the water off the top. And then you just fold your corners in.
Whoa.
And you try to keep them warm the best you can. And then that is that. You will start hearing the wonderful pop as they cool, which is them sealing. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. This is Crystal and Stony, aka Dad, at a Particularly Peeler here on Tiny Acres Farm.